Joining me now is the lead sponsor of the bill, Senator Tammy Duckworth, who is the first senator to give birth while serving office, and both of her children were born with the help of IVF. So, Senator, talk about this. Your bill failed in June on a 48 to 47 vote, far short of the 60 needed to pass to avoid a filibuster. Only 2 Republicans supported it, Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski. And it's expected to fail again today. So I guess the question is, why is Senator Schumer, why are you all bringing it up?
Well, it doesn't have to fail again today, right? All it takes is Donald Trump telling my Republican colleagues to go ahead and vote for it, and it will pass. After all, he killed the border security bill with just a single statement. So he could do the same to get this bill to pass.
And he has said that he is helping IVF. So talk to me about that, of what he is doing for IVF.
He's killing IVF because he continues to support these personhood amendments. He is the guy who put the Supreme Court justices on the Supreme Court, who voted on the Dobbs decision that overturned Roe v. Wade, by continuing to support states that continue to define a fertilized egg as a human being. That obstructs the ability for families who want to access IVF, because you could potentially be prosecuted for manslaughter or murder when you dispose of fertilized eggs that are non-viable. Just as when I went through my IVF cycles, I created 5 fertilized eggs, 3 were non-viable. If you'd implanted them in me, they would have caused a miscarriage, so we discarded those. That simple act could now be considered manslaughter in many states where a fertilized egg is a human being. And Donald Trump, whatever he says about IVF, until he deals with this issue of personhood, it's never going to resolve the basic split between where the laws are and the reality of the science of this medical technology.
ProPublica is reporting that at least 2 women in Georgia, 2 women have died after being unable to access timely abortion care. They needed a DNC, they needed help after Roe was overturned. Can you talk to me about that?
It really is agonizing for me to hear all of these stories. These deaths should be on Donald Trump's conscience. These laws that are being passed around the country due to the fall of Roe v. Wade, as a result of Trump putting Supreme Court justices who worked to overturn Roe v. Wade. I had to have a DNC. I had a miscarriage, and I had to have a DNC in order to clear out my uterus so that I could go through another round of IVF. And I cannot imagine trying to go through IVF today at a time when so much is in jeopardy. And so in so many states, women cannot start families. Women can't go see a doctor when they need the care that they need, because the doctors are afraid that they're going to be prosecuted if they provide the medical care that these women need.
And explain to many who may not know, those who might not know, how widespread this that IVF is now. This is a procedure. It's expensive. It's time-consuming. It's emotionally draining, but it is miraculous for people all across the country.
It absolutely is. You know, this is something that I think IVF is where breast cancer was before Betty Ford started talking about her breast cancer in the 70s. People didn't talk about it. It was very private. It was seen as deeply private. You didn't talk about it other than just with your own immediate family members. And when she started talking about breast cancer, people started to realize how many lives it touched. And people started coming forward with their own stories, their family stories. This is what's happening with IVF now. You know, today we had a rally in front of the Capitol, and I held up a picture of my 2 girls. As you can see, they are
yes, we can.
They have very different personalities. This was at my swearing in with the vice president. When I started talking openly about my IVF journey, so many people come forward, and so many families are touched. People come to me all the time. It's my grandbaby, it's my uncle, it's my aunt, it's my best friend. And by talking about it, we are also letting people know that this technology is available. People can start their families. You don't have to suffer with infertility. And we should be supporting Americans who want to exercise their freedom, their pursuit of happiness to start their families. But Donald Trump and his policies, this idea that a personhood begins with a fertilized egg, is stopping those families from being able to do that.
It's certainly a pro-family policy. And thank you for mentioning Betty Ford, one of my heroes, because yes, breast cancer, and I'm a survivor, was not mentioned. And she actually brought the White House press corps with the camera crews into her hospital room at Bethesda Naval while the president was visiting her husband. She was still in bed in a pink quilted robe. to show, to normalize breast cancer when it was never discussed.
Yes.
Thank you, Senator Duckworth.
Thank
We're
you.
grateful to you.